Everyone for joining us today. I really wanted to just extend some thanks for joining us this 50th Golden Jubilee celebration. So, really, thank you very much. So, what we wanted to get into is, ask our three different customers and key customers that we have here, how the competitiveness of the Shibaura Machine Tool has transformed or contributed to the success in their plant operations. So the first thing I wanted to get to is Mr. Daniel McSpadden here, and let him elaborate on that a little bit. So,
yeah, congratulations on the 50-year anniversary here in the United States. One of the things that Mueller Company really capitalized on with the implementation of bringing in SMA equipment was to limit the amount of outside contracting that we were doing within Mueller Company. At one particular branch, I'll give you just a few numbers. One particular branch we were outside contracting about $7 million worth of machine work being done annually. In the first year of operating with the Shibaura machines, we actually have 4 different pieces of equipment there at the Kimmel location. We was able to bring back $3.5 million worth of work in-house. Company-wide, we've got quite a bit of work to do, but that is one of the things that really brought up our gross margins. We brought our gross margins up about 20% just by doing that, and we anticipate doing a whole lot more in this next upcoming year.
Thank you, Daniel. Jason, I think you might have a very similar and also intriguing story to tell. So,
yeah,
please.
Sure. So, I guess quick little backstory. So let's go back to 2017. At the time, we were looking to modernize our equipment used to manufacture our die shoes. At that time, we were using the iconic CNC boring mills, no tool changers, things like that. And a little bit of a unique situation, or I'm going to say maybe less common, is that the specifications from our customers to produce the cups and shells are all dictated by the design and geometry of the die set. So, obviously that 90% of that, what we do is one-off. So meaning, I don't know, having, I guess one-off parts, I mean, that's kind of, proposes its own unique set of challenges, right? So, we looked at a variety of machine tool builders, chose Shibaura. Part of it was, I guess their willingness to customize, based on our specs and requirements, the combination of rigidity, precision, and speed, and then probably most importantly was their promised level of service and support. Because for us, we're a 24/7 manufacturer, and having that uptime and parts service and whatnot is extremely important. I guess so. We move forward. Actually, Matt helped us with simulations and getting cycle times and whatnot to help justify the investment. But we ended up moving forward. Chose things like custom enclosures. We had again custom enclosures, tool changers, high pressure coolant. All those things combined, we were able to achieve 50% cycle time reduction on various operations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Big Wig kind of transformed it, helped to begin the transformation of their shop over there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess now we've expanded to a total of 5. Mm-hmm. So we've seen some incremental savings and cost savings and improvements, along the way. But, it's a big transformation for us.
Mm-hmm. Tim, how has Shibaura Machines really impacted Sulzer up there for you guys?
Yeah, so we started transitioning from manual machines to CNCs back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And our first Shibaura machine we bought in 2002. And we soon after install started running 2 shifts. That particular machine is still operating today, 2 shifts. They're pretty much bulletproof machines. They got great service, great customer service. Parts department has parts on hand. Rarely do they go down, but when they do, we're back up running rather quickly. So I think partnering with Shibaura definitely was a game changer. There's a lot of machine tool builders out there, but when it comes to machining large parts, there's really only one that can kind of hit the mark with rigidity and repeatability.
So you'd say like those were some of the big impacts for you guys, like the larger market and the repeatability and the kind of the longevity you get out of that and the reliability of the equipment. Is I hear you saying?
Yeah, that definitely helped us in when it came time to upgrade more equipment or transition from manuals to CNCs. We now have 9 Shibaura machines running, some of which have are turning machines with live tooling, vertical mill with 1-degree indexing heads that definitely help reduce setups and moving the machine or the part from machine to machine. So definitely got a lot of unique capabilities, and as well as them being flexible with the physical side of things. Sometimes you buy a machine and it's hard to fit in your building, so these guys will definitely help customize guarding or chip conveyors, whatever needs to be done to make it work. So it's been a great partnership.
Let's see here. I'm going pretty quick. We're only about 5 minutes into it, but maybe a little bit more to speak on this, Daniel. The equipment that you have in your facility down there, some of it's relatively unique, I guess, to some of the market. You guys have recently implemented a larger piece of equipment that was kind of almost a custom order in a sense.
Yeah, we have a large gantry mill that it has a table on it is 10 foot by 200 or about 20 foot long. So I mean, we have a gantry mill that has 3 different heads on it. Now, you know the specs of the machine a lot more than I do, Matt, but we brought it in specifically for BABA. Does everybody know what BABA is? Build America, Buy America. We brought that in specifically for domestic style cast iron product that Mueller Company be making. So some of the things that we do on this large gantry mill, we do 120-inch butterfly valves. We do those. We do gates that are 120. And these gates, when you think about these gates, these are cast iron gates, and they'll go into the dam infrastructure that are the gates that open and closes and allows the water runoff to obviously go out. But that was one of the big moves of the needle there for us, was to go ahead and get that piece of equipment. We've already been able to utilize it in other things too, so we're expecting a lot more sales coming in due to the fact that we have that machine and we have that capability on site. We also have, of course, other large pieces of equipment. We've got a TSS. It's got a 10-foot table on it that allows us to, and we actually have it set down in the floor. Man, I think it's probably about 6-7 feet in the floor, and we can reach all the way up to the roof with it. We've got about a 30-foot roof right there in that particular area, but we're able to do these large plug valves too for the BABA and the AIS. The big move of the needle, though, for us was definitely being able to bring those large components back in-house where we just simply couldn't do it before. We just did not possess those large pieces of equipment. Now, we still outside contract stuff even larger than that, but it just don't make sense to place that money into that infrastructure to support it.
And would you agree, like, rigidity was also a key factor for the Shibaura equipment that you have on site there?
Oh, 100%. I mean, the Shibaura machines, and as I was talking to Matt and to Michael, the relationship that we have, Mueller and Shibaura, It's an honest relationship. I want to make sure that, they know what mean time between failure is on each one of these pieces of equipment, mean time to repair on each one of these pieces of equipment. And I know it's only going to get better because we've only had these things since really 2020. So we're still, the repeatability, kind of like one of these guys said that they had a lot of manual type pieces of equipment. And that's what we had. We did have some Betts and Cincinnati and some other large VTLs that were, hand crank here or there. And the repeatability was something to be desired for. So now we do possess that repeatability on some of these larger projects. And then also, we're only going to get faster because programs, we're writing programs with stuff. And Shibaura was very, very well to work with as far as getting the controls that we wanted to have inside of because we wanted continuity between a lot of our pieces of equipment, not just at the Kimball location, but some of the other locations as well.
Yeah, well, maybe to come back to you a little bit more, Jason, you kind of touched on rigidity a little bit and some repeatability. How have those two things impacted things at Stoley Machinery there as you've transitioned through this? Because I think, from my experiences working with you as well, the rigidity and the capability of the machine tool has probably contributed, I think, has contributed a lot to that 50% improvement that you mentioned.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We, so we were using, it's the GNL boring mills at the time, very rigid, right? But, in doing that, we had to switch from different techniques. So there's, different techniques you use on that versus the Shibaura. But when we purchased the Shibaura, we wanted that combination. And, the majority of those cost savings we've recognized is because of that rigidity. So we can take the heavy cuts, we can do dynamic milling, helical interpolation, things like that through roughing the castings and the burnouts and whatnot. But yeah, it's been, spot on, 100%, hit the numbers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. I think, Tim, some of that might probably echo with you as well, right?
Ditto.
Okay. Well, we don't have a lot more to that particular question. If there is any questions, please, by all means, feel free to ask us at any and all questions at this time. So, other than that, we're gonna move on. But anybody have any questions at all that you want to pose to the panel at this time?
Were you a fan of here?
Yeah, Tosnick.
We got both. Yep.
You got to get the ball, Tim.
Here, Cal, give that, pass it forward.
No, his question was what CNC controls were the customers using and how did that play for them? So, Daniel mentioned they have about 100% FANUC controls in their facility. Jason mentioned on their machines they have the Tosnick controls, which is from our factory, and Tim has a good mix of both. So.
Yeah, and while everybody's thinking of a question, one of the things you asked about rigidity, I don't think I really explained that too well, but we've got, these are all kind of custom castings that we bring in. And these are massive castings. We have been able to take off, and it sounds mind-blowing when I even hear it, but we are taking off, in some cases, 600 thousandths in a pass. On some of these castings.
5/8 of an inch.
And that is very impressive. I mean, it looks like a waterfall of just ductile iron shavings hitting the floor. So we have to do that because obviously time is money, of course. But these castings come in oversized, and we have to true these castings up. And so in some cases, we have 3 inches of material in some castings. When you start talking about something that's 120 inches long by 120 inches long, to try to get it squared up, it's a little bit of a challenge.
Thank you, Daniel. Any other questions? Tim. Thank you. All right, well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody.